and you want to make sure that you're touching base on as many things that's going to make a difference. And when you don't have them in front of you, they're making good decisions. Here's basically how all this started and what it is for us. An outcome of the 1999 Arizona Sports Accord, a document of 16 core principles that are a framework and common language of values that can be adopted in practice, so that participation in sports can do a better job of enhancing the character and health of our nation. Again, circle of influence, circle of concern. The Arizona Sports Summit, principle number 2. It is the duty of sports leadership, including coaches, athletic administrators, program directors, and game officials, to promote sportsmanship and foster good character by teaching the sports and advocating and modeling these ethical principles. There's a word in there that I just love, modeling. They see everything you do, and they don't forget any of it. Everything you do. And again, we are dealing with a very emotional thing. You know, when I do things with parents and they're upset because of athletics, they're upset. I mean, it's emotional. I want my kid to play. He's not getting a chance. I mean, it's not like something. I mean, I think it is the toughest parental situations that you have to deal with. I did and I don't know if I've included it in here, but if anybody ever wanted to look at it, I'll let you. It was the greatest thing that, and again, I stole it from somebody. Remember, steal from one, steal from many. It was a contract that I used to use with all of my parents, and I call it a pledge of commitment. I'm a contract guy because I feel like you have to be covered. It was called a pledge of commitment. And in it were things that were okay, things that weren't. And I still talk about it here at Hamilton, and our coaches do too, and I know the people at Basha have seen it. But what I believe is because parents do get so emotional, they need to know what the boundaries are. We will not talk about 3 things. A parent calls me, I won't discuss this with you. I won't discuss playing time with you. I won't discuss strategy with you. And I won't discuss other athletes with you. I won't. I don't care what parent calls. I don't care what the problem is. I will not talk about those 3 things with you. That is why we hire a professional coaching staff. You want to talk to me about how my kid can get better? Okay. When I was at McClintock, we got beaten in a really big game. And it was the rival. It was 10 behind McClintock. Huge game. Hadn't played in years. I did an important job of coaching. We didn't win the game. So the next morning, you're in at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're frazzled. We got to get the film. What are we going to do? You're throwing a baby out with bathwater. Okay, everything we do is terrible. You know how you got that emotional response and everything can happen. 2 of my coaches go at it. My defensive coordinator, my offensive coordinator, almost getting a fight. You know, I mean, it was just one of those mornings. I hear this banging on the door. Banging on the door. I go out of the coach's office, open the door to the locker room. Here's a mom. A mom of a young man who didn't do what I asked in the weight room. Mom of a young man who really didn't practice that hard. Mom of a young man who really was fortunate that he was on this football team. She wanted to know why he wasn't playing. And my first response was going to be, are you kidding me? I want to know what makes you think you should, you know, I mean, I'm ready to pop. And I went, I said, you signed the contract that I gave out at the beginning of the season, correct? Yes, I did. And you signed the pledge of commitment, correct? She said, yes, I did. I said, then you know what it says, correct? And she said, yes, I do. And I said, then you know that I will not discuss playing time with you. And she said, I understand that. I said, now, would you like to sit down with me and discuss how your son might become a better football player and then get an opportunity to play? She said, yes. And I said, okay, you call me on Monday. She never called, I never sat down, never talked about it. You're mad your kid didn't want to play. She knew the truth. But it was funny because right when I said, did you sign this? Do you remember that? Do you recall it? Yes, I do. And that was the end of it. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't know how much grief that little document saved me from wherever I stole it from. But it was outstanding. You know, and you talk about all the procedures. But something like that, just something like that to get home and get done. Because now they know. I do it here. People call me and I say, hey, we're not going to discuss that. I'll talk to you about how we can make him a better player, what she needs to do this. But those are things we can't discuss because our coaches are hired based on knowing those things. So, again, things you can do to model behavior and not model the other kind of behavior. Getting excited, you know. Profanity is a big issue. I mean, I just think it is. I swear like a sailor to go hang out. I don't swear in front of kids. Just don't. Sometimes it slips, sometimes. But I expect the same thing of my kids. When I coach, I told them, you say ass, damn, and hell. Because that's on the Disney Channel. And I may say ass, damn, or hell. One kid said to me, the damn your ass to hell coach. I mean, you're pretty smart. You want to play quarterback? I was very impressed by that. But anything else? F-bombs or whatever? We didn't do it. We didn't do it. They got up and down. Coaches did. I mean, you know, we went in the coach's office. It might be a little bit different conversation. But you know what? You got to, what do you value? What are you modeling? I'm not saying that's right, wrong, whatever. But what are you valuing? What are you modeling? What is the difference of what they see? Because again, what you model is going to teach them a lot more sometimes than what you tell them. It is a privilege, not a right. They have the right to be in your classroom. It is a privilege to be on your team. And I think you need to make sure they understand that. Especially parents sometimes. Because this is the last bastion of we still make the decisions on who plays and what we do as coaches. And when they start telling us from above who's going to play and who isn't, I don't know if there'll be a lot of us left doing this. But to earn the privilege, there's things that you have to do. I think it's critical that if you put this in a contract or you discuss this with an athlete, you need to put a document in that says, here is what my responsibilities to you are. Because, you know, we have all these player conduct things. You need to do this, and you can't do that. Put something in there that says, my responsibilities as a coach are to coach you morally and ethically, to follow whatever your thoughts are. Include that in there. Because then a parent can't say, well, you expect my son to do, you know, hey, this is what we try to do too. And then model the behavior. Students who participate in extracurricular activity programs, including sports, tend to have higher GPAs, better attendance records, lower dropout rates, and fewer discipline problems. Now that's research. You know, it's always nice when you can say to somebody what the research says. Well, that's what the research says. I love when a parent comes into my office and says, well, I think we're going to make Jimmy stop playing basketball because his grades are bad. And I look the parent in the eye and I say, you have just guaranteed that his grades will be worse. How many of you have done that before? And you see it. Because think about it this way. If you want something done, what do? You ask a busy person, right? Think about all you. Right now you're going, okay, new people that are new to teaching and new to coaching. Yes, it's like getting a drink of water out of a fire hydrant right now. They're just knocking your head off with all this stuff, okay? And believe me, it'll be a lot worse than you think. No, I'm kidding. Everything will be okay. You'll be fine. But it's a lot of stuff really fast. But it's amazing how you get it all done. Being a teacher, think about it. You get it all done and you complain, oh man, I got so many things I got that. But you get it done. Now, what happens in the summer? In the summer, I'm ready. I'm going to read all these books. I'm going to read. I'm going to do all this stuff in the summer, right? I am ready to rock and roll. I'm going to get all these things that I want to do during the year. I'm going to get them done. And I walk in to my living room, and my couch talks to me. See, I believe the couch is the devil. My couch says, hey man, how you doing? I say, don't even start with me right now, okay? I'm going to get things done. No, come sit down. Just for a minute. I sit down on the couch. And then my remote starts talking to me. Hey man, how you doing? Come on, let's start. Let's do it. Come on, let's go! So I pick it up for a minute. Have you ever sat and watched the preview channel? For more than 5 minutes? You're watching what's going to come on later that you really don't want to watch. What an incredible waste of time. And I'm not saying you don't have some downtime, but I'm not busy anymore. All of a sudden, all those goals, all those things that directed me, all the things I had to get done are gone. And all the things I kind of want, I know. That's what kids do. Have you ever sat on the couch? I had the couch thing down for a while. I would sit on the couch. I would have the remote here, the cell phone here. I would call the Domino's guy. He'd knock on the door. Come in! I'd pay him from the couch. Food coma. You know, you got the grill business out. Kids do that. You ever sat on the couch and you're so lazy that you're hungry, but you don't really want to get up and go, and you kind of look at the kitchen like, And then you start thinking, well, telepathy might work. You know? See, some of you are laughing because you've actually done that, haven't you? So, I mean, it's sick. Maybe I can float a can of tuna over here. You know, but eventually, what do? You get up and go get something to eat. Because unsatisfied needs motivate. Satisfied needs don't motivate. Unsatisfied needs motivate. Satisfied needs do not motivate. So I don't have all these things to do. What do you think kids do when they get out of your sport? When they have time in the afternoon, I tell the parents, I'm going to tell you what he's going to do now. He doesn't have anywhere to be right after school. So he's going to go home. You're not there. You both are at work, right? You don't know what he's doing. Well, he's going to go home. He's going to turn on Jerry Springer. He's going to poison his mind with that garbage for a little while. Then he's going to get on the internet and surf God knows what and let thousands of people into your home, because that's what you do, go into MySpace and that's scary little places that they can get to. Then he's going to get on the phone. They're going to talk on the phone for a while. She's going to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and run that cell phone bill, okay? Oh, but the homework needs to be done, right? Because you're doing this to improve your grades, right? Oh, but they'll put that off because I got time. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Then they're going to get their friends. They're going to hang out for a little while, right? Okay, but I'm going to get it done later. Then you're probably going to get home around 6:37. Well, then you got to eat. Okay, but I'm going to do homework later. I'm going to do it later. And later never comes. It never comes. And then you're in your class copying off the kid who is in a sport, who had to go home at 5, get his homework done, get his dinner, get to bed so he can get it done the next day. They're copying it off of him right before class, right? I know they think we don't realize they do that. They do think we're stupid, okay? I think it's amazing. I can't tell you enough what a difference the involvement in sports makes in their lives. And you have to make sure you drive that home. And all the other things that they're learning from it. You want to not be bored? Set some goals. You want to not be bored? Get involved. When you have that freshman athlete that's thinking about getting out of the sport, there's more to it than getting out of the sport. There's a lot more to it than just getting out. I don't really want to play burnout. How the heck can you be burnout when you're 15? What does that mean? I don't even understand what burnout is. I don't understand it anyway. I'm burnt out at 15? Demonstrate and demand. Observe and enforce the spirit as well as the letter of the rules. This is kind of an interesting one now. You know, again, the key word there is demonstrate. You know, and I said that earlier, show me, coach. Because, and you all know this, learning is an unobservable process. You cannot see learning. Right? I mean, you can sit there and you can look at me, shake your head, you're writing. You're going, yep, I'm going to get this done later. I got to be there at 5. Yeah, I don't know that you're taking. I don't know that you've learned anything until you demonstrate some sort of performance for me. One thing good about what we do is we get to see that. Learning is an unobservable process. Only performance can prove that it's happened. And we repetition. You watch on film. We get, sitting there and you're watching film. God, I showed him that all week long. How can he miss that? All week we worked on that. Guess he didn't get it, coach. You knew it. Didn't get it. You see what you coach. Dang that kid. Well, you know what? Then replace him and put somebody else in. Or maybe you better make sure they do get it before you go into the game. How do you do that? They got to demonstrate. It's the same thing with victory with honor. It's the same thing with character. It's the same thing with integrity. Make them demonstrate it. Make them demonstrate it. Praise them for doing it. You have your leaders. You have your kids that demonstrate it every day. Make that important. And there'll be some tough lessons to teach. There will be. But again, I go back to that consistency of it. It can't be a lesson one day and nothing the next day. Consistent and persistent. The importance of character, ethics, and sportsmanship should be emphasized in all communications related to the recruitment of athletes, including emotional and descriptive materials. Welcome to Chandler. Last year, at this time, I visited 9 different homes to make sure they were living where they said they were living. It's very competitive here. Sometimes to the point where you're going, geez. But it's very competitive. Make sure that that your athletes are from where they say they're from. Make sure you're checking on recruiting. Make sure you're not doing it. Your programs will take care of themselves. You run a good program, kids will show up. And everybody's going to blame the people that are winning that they recruit. If you're winning, people are mad. So if nobody's mad at you, that means you're not winning. I hate to say it, that's reality. Say which one. Well, they are Hamilton recruits like crazy. I know we do. Gosh, I hear it all the time. 9 homes. Funny thing about it is, of those kids' houses that I went into, I think 2 finished the season with us. Because they got here and found out, wow, this is pretty competitive. And I was all world over here, but now I'm here and I can't even, geez, this is what I thought. And I'm going to tell you another thing, you know what? It's not the kids either. It's their parents. It's not the kids. Most of these kids are happy where they're at. They want to be with their friends. They're going to like say what mom and dad wants them. But unfortunately, the best thing a parent can do for their child is to step back and let you coach them. Because it sure is hard to play a sport when you're on the field, but your eyes are in the stands, making sure dad's up there going like this. And you know because you coach them. And I don't know how you get that across to your parents. You can mention it. You can talk about it. Give you a great example. You get a kid. Okay, all right, Jimmy, basketball coaching. Come on, Jimmy, you're the man. You are the man. You are the shutdown. You are the sheriff, baby. You will lock this kid up tonight. He's the #1 scorer in the state. He gets nothing. You're going to shut him down. And that night, Jimmy plays a great game, man. He shuts his cat down. He gets 8 points. You're Jack. You're the Jack. Jimmy, you're the man. Jimmy's Jack. I did a great job. Jimmy goes home. He's all excited. Is Dad happy? Nah, Jimmy didn't score 20. See, Jimmy held him to 8. And Jimmy only scored 4 points. Son, you got to shoot. Son, you got to shoot. That's the worst thing that father can do to that child. Because, see, coach is happy. The kid's happy. Dad needs to understand the kid's role. Now the kid's happy. Everybody's happy. But as soon as Dad's not happy, guess what? Now Jimmy's not happy. Now they go to coach, and now coach going, oh, here we go. Here we go. I got this kid. He's doing a great job. And now it's going to be one of those. It changes the whole dynamics of everything. I mean, the thing about this whole character issue, the thing about all of this and what we do is it spills over into parents as well. I have a little blurb that I've always used ever since I've been an AD. And all it talks about, you get the little thing in the program, and all it talks about sportsmanship. Sportsmanship starts with you. I don't know how much you can do that. You have your parent meetings. These are some things that you have to make sure they understand. And I'm going to say something else, and I hate saying what I'm going to say. But it's kind of a reality of what we do. And you have to make this decision. Especially those of you who cut sports. And it's the toughest thing in the world to do. I understand that. But when you have that kid that's on the border, he's a borderline kid. He's a great kid. He really hustles. But you know, Jimmy, you're not going to play. And you're thinking, I really don't need him. But God, he's such a nice kid. You're not going to listen. You're not going to play. Okay, you're not going to play. But you're a great kid. Like mom and dad, he's not going to play. Cut him. Okay. And I hate saying that.